Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here, but let's be honest, for this week you can just call me Auspex Tactics Half Dead. You know that's all I'm going to be doing this week. Because, oh my gosh, we're getting actual Kill Team Warhammer articles every day? At least 2 days, but I would assume every day. I have a lot to say. I'm just going to read you this article verbatim so that we're all working from the same framework, so that we know what they've said. Just to very quickly wrap it up, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of thoughts at the end, a few more things that we've learned since I last did a video, you know, a lot more squinting, some people have said some things, etc. I'll get to that all at the end. Check the timestamps if you've already read this article and you don't need to hear me say it. But I suppose I do have to start just by saying that essentially this article doesn't tell us anything, and it just says come back tomorrow, when it looks like we're going to get actual information. Okay, with that said, let's read it. But first, if you're a subscriber to my channel, I'd like to give you a big double hello. Wow, wasn't that very wholesome? Doesn't everybody need a little bit of wholesomeness in their life? Well, I've just given you a little bit. So if you would like that wholesome double hello, a nice double pleasantry in the next video, like, subscribe, leave a comment right now. That'd be great. Thank you very much. 5 things you need to know about the new, totally rebuilt Kill Team. Warhammer 40k Kill Team Octarius. Among the many explosive reveals in Saturday's Warhammer Preview Online, we announced a brand new version of Kill Team, as well as introducing some incredible miniatures for the Death Corps of Krieg and Orc commandos to the game. The rules have been reimagined from the ground up to completely revolutionise the tabletop skirmish combat experience. I have a few things to say about that. I have commentary, but it's not coming till the end, okay? And if you could, yes, the English heat is back. I'm dying. Oh my god. In fact, so much has changed that we're dedicating a bumper crop of articles to every aspect of the new Kill Team over the coming weeks. Awesome. Here are just a few of the things you can look forward to in the latest edition. Number 1, all new skirmish rules. We really mean it when we say Kill Team has been completely rebuilt. Every rule is bespoke, and they are no longer based on the Warhammer 40k rule set. These dynamic rules allow players to relive tense and gritty Spec Ops missions full of heroic moments and nail-biting decisions, like the demolition job scene in the stunning cinematic trailer. The new Kill Team experience simulates close-quarters skirmish combat where stealth and positioning are every bit as important as shooting, and commanders need to use all their cunning to outfox their opponent. Number 2, brand new stats. Your unit's data cards are changing, showing off what your operatives can do in more detail than ever before. Frontline troopers can act with comrades, nimble fighters can dodge incoming fire, and powerful soldiers, like the mighty Space Marines, can even perform more actions in a turn than lesser beings. We'll be having a close look at the new data cards later this week, so keep your eyes peeled. Again, I have lots to say, but I'm powering through, okay? Battle for Octarius. Kill Team is set among the growing maelstrom of the Octarius sector, where allow me to add a bit of gravitas to the voice. Where Imperial forces and Xenos hordes collide in apocalyptic battles on a daily basis. As the next narrative setting for Warhammer 40,000, Warzone Octarius is home to a continually developing story that will have far-reaching consequences for the fate of the galaxy. The saga begins with Kill Team and Warzone Octarius, Book 1, Rising Tide, which we also revealed during Saturday's preview. The Kill Teams themselves undertake critical missions in this theatre of war, hoping to break the fragile stalemate. So important are the developments in the embattled sector that even those forces are not directly involved have a stake in this monumentous conflict. It then gives us a little asterisk. I already checked that. It just says, even if you're not Imperial Guard, Orcs, or Tyranids, there are still reasons to be in this sector. While players may be used to fighting amid the ruins on Imperial planets or the dark depths of Necron Tomb worlds, the ramshackle Orc settlements of the Octarius sector are rife with new challenges. Number 4, alternating activations. Constant back and forth action is the cornerstone of the new edition of Kill Team, as commanders take alternating turns to activate each of their operatives. Sudden dashes for objectives can come at any moment, and plans must change on the fly as enemy troops weave in and out of cover. No longer will one player have to withstand the full fury of their foe's assault before getting to respond. I obviously have something to say about that because that's not how Kill Team worked in the past. I think they're talking about 40k there, but fine. Number 5, in-depth customization. The Kill Teams themselves are highly customizable, as you would expect from elite teams of operators, and there are many build options available. Each model can be equipped with weapons to match different specializations within their roster, and no two kill teams will look exactly alike. Check out these 2 examples that demonstrate how different you can make a single base model look. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. More news is on the way, including a close look at the data cards tomorrow. As we get closer to pre-orders for Kill Team Octarius opening in August, check out all of the factions on the freshly updated Kill Team website, blah blah blah. So I think for anybody that missed it in the stream, pre-orders are in August. There you go. So we know that we have at least 3 weeks where we're not getting any pre-orders. So chill. We might get it the very first weekend of August, who knows? Or we might get it the last weekend of August. Impossible to say. Anyway, they also say here, data cards are tomorrow. So for now, it's all just speculation. I will say just a quick props to them. When we saw these models, obviously these two, because they're crouching, look very similar. You can kind of tell, okay, same base model, fine. But these two, obviously I hadn't looked too closely, but hey, these look completely different. So good for them. Like, head swap, arm swap, that's all it is. But yeah, good job. Right, let's go back up to the top. What were the things I needed to say? All new skirmish rules. So I think we already knew this. They've pumped that home pretty hard already. It's been all but confirmed that we are still going to be playing the game with a roster. Keep that in mind. Certainly, I genuinely think that one of the really big things about Kill Team and why it was better than 40k for a competitive game is because there's a roster. It allows you to make player choices before the game, in list building before the game. Like, it rewards knowledge, it rewards player choice. There being a roster, in my opinion, is practically mandatory. Like, if I were to get into competitive Warhammer 40k, I would genuinely prefer a format with a sideboard system. I just think I just prefer it. So, all but confirmed, there is still a roster in Kill Team. Also, to go along with that, they've said it here, but I've seen a lot of people be a little bit afraid because we're seeing 2 kind of set Kill Teams here. They're afraid that Kill Team is going to become kind of like Warcry in that the box builds a single team. We've had it confirmed that's not the case. If anything, from the sounds of it, things are like more customizable. But certainly with these 2 teams, you can build them however you want. As they showed at the bottom here, you don't have to take a demo. You don't have to take a sniper. You could take one or both. You don't have, you can build the teams however you want. You can give them whichever weapons you want. From the sounds of it, these 2, any Kill Team kit, which in this case specifically means the Krieg and the Commandos, are going to be more customizable than a regular 40k kit, which is obviously great. So there you go. If you don't play one of these, then you still just go and you work with whatever your 40k kit for your armies are, until hopefully you get your own. So anyway, right, I rambled a lot there. All new skirmish rules, we know that. Brand new stats. So we've talked about this a lot. If you watched me on my kind of breaking down, I had said that on the data sheets, GA, I had thought stood for group allocation, I think. No, group allowance. I thought it was group allowance, which meant that you can only take, the number 1, 2, whatever it is, of that model in your kill team, almost like a roster system, a limiting system, so that you can't just take 50 plasma gunners or whatever, So we've had it 100% confirmed. It stands for group activation. We don't know how that works yet. We don't know what it means. The current thinking, presumably we find out tomorrow, right? But the current thinking is that when that group activates, whether it's like an initiative system, so everybody that is group activation 2 moves first and then shoots last, which is kind of like an X-Wing style. It means that they're the slower people. It means that anyone with a group activation of 1 will be able to move after them and therefore get out of line of sight or into line of sight, or just generally maneuver so that you have a better shot. And that group activation 1 will also be able to shoot before the group activation 2. That's kind of the initiative system. There's also a possibility that it's going to allow you to group activations will be when you activate this data sheet, that is how many of the datasheet you can activate at once. So if you want to take a crappy trooper, like regular guardsman with group activation 3, when you activate it, you can move 3 of that datasheet. Whereas if you move an elite trooper that is group activation 1, obviously it's a more powerful model, so you can only move 1. We don't know. Those are just like the 2 biggest guesses at the moment. Yeah, data cards are changing. I think APL has questions and GA has questions. Everything else we already know the answers for on the rest of the data sheets. I am definitely still going to be talking about it tomorrow, because once they tell us exactly what those mean, and hopefully how we kind of generate APL action points for our teams, that's going to tell us quite a lot about how the game's going to play. So expect to see me every day that they do an article, basically. Battle for Octarius. The only thing I have to add to this is kind of my own little theory. Perhaps, so with Warcry, they released the big core box, and then alongside it, they released like 6 other kill team specific factions, which they released like subsequent weeks to the main box. My first thought had been that that was how they were going to do kill team, right? So we might be getting drops of kill team specific boxes for every different faction outside of the main box. However, if you were listening to the live stream where they revealed everything, I think it was Adam Troke said that something that they, like, he hinted that the fact that it's called Kill Team Octarius and the fact that it is a limited edition box is relevant. He said that, you know, he implied we could read into that safely, if you will. So perhaps, because this is a limited box, they're going to sell it for 6 months, because 6 months is how long it takes until, like roughly in 40k, that's how long each sector, crusade sector, like of the storyline, is hanging around for. Then 6 months later we get the next one, whatever they're called. I think we started in the Pariah Nexus, then we went over to Kokaradon, now we're going to Octarius where we get Kill Team releasing, and then in 6 months we're going to go to either the next war zone or part 2 of Octarius, whatever. So perhaps part 2 will be the special Tyranids, you know, the other half of Octarius. Perhaps it will be a Tyranids kill team, I don't know. But that's a possibility. Pure speculation, obviously, but perhaps we will be getting the kill team specific drops for not just factions, but also more rules every 6 months as Crusade moves along for 40k. Pure guess, but like that would make sense to me. It would keep Kill Team in people's minds. It would continually give us releases every 6 months. It would essentially assure Kill Team players that we are tied into 40k by saying, hey, when we give a new Crusade book, Kill Team gets something too. And presumably, you know, the next time we won't get a core book, we'll get the Elites book, the Commanders book, whatever. But pure speculation, but like, it's something that they might do. Alternating activation. So we already knew this, and as I just kind of covered above, we don't know exactly how the alternating activations are going to work. Is it just always straight up, whoever wins the roll-off goes first, then the other person goes second, and then you just 1-1, you trade off every time, there's no effect? Like you can't change moving one model at a time, like in Kill Team? Or will it, Warcry, sorry. Or will there be some sort of multi-activation thing, like there is in Necromunda, where if you move a leader, you can move 2 of other models of yours, or if you move like one of their specialists, you can move 1 other model as well. So there's a little bit of play there as to who you want to move and when you want to move them to get the most out of your activations. Again, pure speculation, but I'm going to throw it out there. So, sudden dashes for objectives can come at any moment, and plans must change on the fly as enemy troops weave in and out of cover. Oh, yeah, this is all like good news. I like everything I'm hearing, but one thing that I had the notion of is perhaps, so you know, they want us to, you know, they're pushing the idea that you have to use these combat movement tool widgets, right? Maybe, pure guess, but you know, others in my Discord have mentioned that perhaps the reason that they're pushing this is because, so you don't just move 6 inches, you move 3 circle, and we know that the circle is 2 inches. Perhaps at every break in your movement of that 2-inch circle, perhaps there is the ability for something to happen. Certainly, I'm sure you'll all be aware of it because of XCOM, but this is a feature that comes across. I know Infinity has it as well, I believe. But if you're aware of the computer game XCOM, Overwatch, if you move in somebody's line of sight and perhaps they've already set up an Overwatch stance, they have they can shoot at you, even though it's not their turn. I don't know if that's in this game, but that makes a lot of sense. And so suddenly the fact that you move 2 inches is relevant, as opposed and it makes it harder for you to get to certain places without getting shot. Whereas let's say you were able to move that full measuring stick of 6 inches, or suddenly like that's almost saying yes, you have a 6-inch movement, but you're really fast, and so you move that full 6 inches and cannot be shot. Whereas these little guys, these guardsmen, they move 6 inches, but you're going to get shot at. So that's a possibility, you know, just throwing it out there. Who knows? Although if that is true, it means that our boards are going to have to be really, really dense for that level of movement to matter between 2 inches and 6 inches. And then in-depth customization. So I kind of already spoke about that. From what I've heard, okay, I've heard two things. Okay. Again, these are from people in my Discord. The two things are that, firstly, you can customize it however you want. You're not tied into anything. I assume you have to take a leader, just like you do in current Kill Team. And I assume that taking one of each specialist, however many the limit is probably a good idea, because there might not be a negative to taking them. But you don't have to. Just like in current Kill Team, if you want to take a demo, a sniper, and a medic, you can do that. And that's going to be the same over here. You do not have to take them. And apparently these kits, you can build anything. You don't, as I said earlier, you don't have to build the medic, you don't have to build the sniper, you don't have to build the demo, etc, etc. So, and rosters exist, so that's fine. The other thing I've heard, and I don't know what this means, unfortunately, is that this is hot tip, but I don't know what it means. Yeah, so the other thing I've heard is the game is going to involve less spam. Don't know what that means. So basically in my Discord there are one or two, like I don't know what to call them, whether they're devs or playtesters. We'll call them developers, because if you're playtesting, you are in some small way developing the game as well. And those are the two things they've told us. Rosters are like, they didn't, okay, so understand, they're not directly saying yes there are rosters in the game. They are just very heavily hinting, you know, we say, oh, we like rosters, and they kind of say, yes, rosters were good, weren't they? I know that I certainly enjoyed rosters too, right? And I'm kind of trying to pass that on to you, as there are probably going to be rosters in the game. So I don't really know what the game is going to involve less spam means. Does that mean that there are unit restrictions on, like, hey, if you're Imperial Guard, you can't take 6 plasmas or whatever? Or does it mean it is less effective to take these big weapons, and these big weapons should only be used for very specific scenarios, so you don't need them, so do not spam them? Like, is it an inbuilt game mechanic of, yeah, you just actually don't need all these big weapons? Or, you know, like, the negative to using these big heavy weapons is so great that you only take them when you absolutely need them, and the rest of the time you actually want to value movement over something else? Or does the less spam mean that you know, things die less easily, and so you can do more things with a weak model, so you don't need to spam them, so you can take the stronger models, etc, etc. Who knows? I'm just passing on what very little I've heard. Anyway, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Like I say, you're going to get these every day that Warhammer Community puts out an article, because I'm really excited for the new edition of Kill Team. I really want to see what it is, and yeah, please come and join me in being excited for Kill Team, because who knows how long this is going to last, right? Like, I'm so scared. I don't know what the community is going to do for the game at all. Like, genuinely, I really hope that it goes massive and just blows up completely. I have actually written a whole bunch of think pieces about Kill Team already, but now that I know that Kill Team's going, like, Warhammer Community is going to be dropping these articles, I don't want to do 2 videos on the same day. so I don't know when I'm going to do that. But if you're a Patreon, I've just sent, like, posted as a Patreon exclusive for you, the script for how dice pools are going to affect Kill Team and games in general, and the statistics there and what it means for the game, whether things are going to be more reliable, less reliable, the benefits of it, etc. So if you really want to read that before I actually do the video for it, go check that out on Patreon. And if you've made it all the way through this ramble, thanks very much. I'd like to give you a big triple hello. Very pleasant, I know. If you want a triple hello in the next video, just watch till the end. Everybody gets it. Anyway, I will no doubt see you tomorrow, like an hour and a half after the WarCom article drops, because I'm really excited to know stats. As I say, we figured out what the stats are. I want them to explain GA properly and APL properly. And I think after that, we can start making more guesses about how the game plays a little bit better. So, for some reason, the guessing part is like really, really fun of all of this. Don't really know why. Would I actually have more fun if I just ignored all of these for a month until the game release? I don't know. But anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a good day and continue to have a good day. Goodbye.